Not every battle is meant to be fought. Not every ball pitched at you should be swung at. You need to discern which balls to swing at and which ones to let go to the keeper. Sometimes true victory is from walking away, healing your wounds, and letting the lies, manipulations, betrayals, the mind games, and the dark agendas crumble under their own weight. So in this video, I'll cover how you can turn even the darkest betrayals into personal power and freedom without fighting dirty. For 13 years, I was targeted by a toxic, controlling, clout-chasing woman who led a covert group, kind of like a sex cult disguised under the facade of a family, a community and support. And they weren't just passive-aggressive manipulators. They were active in dark occult practices, sending demonic energy and sabotage towards me, to my health, my relationships, finances, home, family, spiritual connection and intuition, day and night. They didn't just target me, they also came for my daughter as well. And in the true form of Netflix clickbait, they even targeted each other behind each other's backs. She even destroyed her own husband's twin flame relationship because she didn't want to lose her free pass gold digger lifestyle and have to get a job. And she even destroyed her husband's career, income and reputation as a consequence of harvesting energy from his clients to use for her purpose. I tried everything to deal with this narcissistic woman and her flying monkeys without incurring negative karma for me. I stayed silent. I kept my distance. I even moved cities. I went to traditional and non-traditional advisors, healers and therapists. And I even gave this group fair warning that I could see everything that each one of them was doing. Not just to me, but also to each other. But nothing worked. They were convinced that they were untouchable, cloaked and invisible. And given that they thought that I was a naive nobody who couldn't possibly be able to see what they had all been doing and hiding from each other for decades, and given that they thought I couldn't possibly be telling the truth because they were pathological liars and that's what they were used to, they relentlessly continued with their narcissistic behaviours, and they still relentlessly continue with their witch and warlock craft day and night, even though it's all backfiring onto them. The real turning point came for me not from confronting them. The real turning point for me came from healing myself. When I resolved my inner child wounds, healed my rejection trauma, healed my betrayal wounds, and released the not good enough programming that so many of us have, when I released the not good enough programming that made me vulnerable to them in the first place, they lost their power over me. Their attacks stopped affecting me. Their dark energy bounced off and returned to them under universal law. And one by one, their own lives have started unraveling. Their addictions have spiraled. Their masks have fallen off. Their careers have crumbled. Their income dried up. And respect from the community not only disappeared, it turned into disgust. When their masks slipped publicly, their followers were given the opportunity to see the truth of who they are, who they were and who they are, and they were given the opportunity to free themselves, to call out the bad behaviour and to atone for their mistakes for joining in on the corruption and the toxicity. And some have taken the opportunity, some have taken the reprieve offered to them and walked away, and others are still blindfolded. They're still being manipulated and are continuing to dig for China. So what is the point of telling this story? I tell it because too many good-hearted people are still caught in the web of controlling narcissists, false leaders, manipulators, domineering family members or bosses, believing they have to stay silent and suck it up or have to fight back to win. You don't. Real victory comes when you heal your own wounds so completely that no one can manipulate or gaslight you again. When you refuse to fight on their level, when you choose to rise instead, you dismantle the entire structure they built on fear, guilt, control, and exploiting where you have overgiven, where you've been a people pleaser, overshared, or allowed yourself to feel vulnerable. So what does this matter to you? It matters because you'll stop wasting energy on drama, chaos, and proving yourself. You'll reclaim your power, your peace, your purpose, and your own potential. You'll stop attracting toxic people and trauma bonding through unhealed wounds. You'll walk into your highest timeline where authentic, aligned opportunities and authentic people await. When you heal your cracks, no poison can get in. When you refuse to fight small battles, you win bigger wars, inside and outside. Spiritual law states that what you send out returns to you multiplied. Psychological studies show that healed, self-aware people are less susceptible to manipulation, less susceptible to groupthink, to mind games and emotional blackmail. Narcissistic structures collapse when the supply of your energy, your fear, your compliance, subservience, overgiving, empathy, kindness, and caring are cut off. And real-life examples of this are when cults, toxic families, and manipulative groups crumble, when people wake up and find the courage to ignore the narrative, when people wake up and walk away. When you stop fighting toxic people and injustice on their terms and focus entirely on healing yourself, you become immune to their games. And the very people who were trying to tear you down will end up exposed by their own actions. So how do you do it? How do you not just walk away, but walk away and win? Heal your inner wounds that they hook into. Work with your inner child, your abandonment wounds and unworthiness stories. Get help if you need to. When the hooks are healed, they can't latch in anymore. Energy vampires can't feed off someone who is whole. Forgive them without re-engaging. Forgiveness isn't about condoning them, it's about freeing you. So stop playing their games. Don't badmouth, don't fight, don't plead, don't complain, and don't explain. Stop expecting better behaviour from people who have an agenda in behaving poorly. Stop expecting better behaviour from people who have not only gotten away with it for decades, but have been rewarded for decades for behaving poorly, and who have potentially interpreted getting away with it so far as permission or justification to continue with their poor behaviour. Bless them. Wish them well from a distance. What they do or don't do is none of your business. It's none of our business. Move on without animosity. Shine your light unapologetically. The best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's radiance. Launch the project. Build the business. Love deeply. Love loudly. Laugh loudly. Their darkness can't survive the spotlight of your thriving soul. If you've been feeling trapped by manipulative, controlling, or narcissistic people or a particular person, heal your emotions. Heal your emotional wounds that made you vulnerable to them. If you've been drained by fighting, defending, or explaining yourself, step into your silent, powerful self-trust and your higher action. If you've been fearing retaliation or more devious attacks, raise your vibrations so high that they can't touch you. If guilt, shame, or fear have kept you stuck, forgive, detach, and claim your sovereignty. If you've been exhausted from toxic environments, walk away and prioritize your inner peace. No explanation is needed. You don't owe your energy to toxic people. You don't owe your loyalty to fear, and you don't have to fight dirty battles to prove your worth. You win when you heal. You win when you walk away stronger. You win when you rise so high that they can't even reach you. Every time you choose your higher self over someone else's lower games, you don't just save yourself. You light a way for others to follow. If I can, you can. And if you can, others can. Thank you. That was a mic drop. You light the way for others to follow. For narcissistic towers, for toxic families, for manipulative groups, for cults or people to crumble, you have to stand tall. You have to shine bright and refuse to bow down. Unless you're in a potentially dangerous or life-threatening situation, or those around you are. If that's the case, ignore absolutely everything I've said and go to the police.